Joe Maz, what was the strangest tactic this year to get you guys going?
The one that I've told people about before is so his favorite animal is an orca whale or a killer whale,
Nice.
and so he pulled up this clip from National Geographic, and it's these three orca whales hunting this seal, and they're kind of scoping it out, and then they all, attack this seal and kill it. His like message was, killer whales don't do it on their own. They wait for the others to attack their prey before they kill it. And that's what we got to do this year is do it together, and nobody can do it on their own.
All right, Sam Hauser is a world champion, and Sam, we will get to your life and career, I promise. But of course, we need to start with your vomiting atop the duck boat at the parade on June the 21st. How much notice did your body give you that something was amiss?
It was pretty quick. um, yeah, it was. You don't drink for. I didn't drink all playoffs, and I really didn't drink much throughout the season. And then everybody starts chucking drinks at you, and you just want to put them back for the people. And then I hit a cigar, and that got me all spinny. And then shortly after that, it was puke time.
What was the day like leading up? What time did you wake up? Was there any breakfast? Which duck boat were you on?
So I think so. I had my whole family and my wife's family in town, and I think we all woke up at probably 7 a.m. Got a little breakfast in all of us, and then we had to be to the arena by about 9:30, I think it was. And then a couple things happened at the arena, and then we were on the duck boat, and then I got my own duck boat, surprisingly. Not
Nice.
sure how that happened, but it was just my family and my wife's family, and it was a lot of fun.
Now, I assume if anybody pukes, you don't want it known that you're puking. Um, how soon after the parade did you find out it had been captured on film? And then how long was it before you realized, oh, I'm now a legend for this? This is a good thing.
That night, probably around 5 or 6. I mean, I didn't have my phone on me all day, but also I think my mom pulled it up, and I don't know how many times she watched it, probably a good 20 to 25 times. But yeah, I remember doing it, and in the moment, people were cheering. It was a quick rally after it, so I was impressed with myself.
It was really quick. What did you throw up into?
So we had a cooler full of beer, and actually in the video, you can see my wife on her hands and knees trying to get the beer out because I told her that I'm getting ready to throw up, and she didn't get all the beer out. So I threw up on some of those, and then we ended up throwing those to the crowd. So some people got some throw up beers. Yeah.
That's incredible. And safe to say your wife's a keeper, I guess.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. She's also 7 months pregnant, which makes it even more impressive. So
Holy Toledo.
yeah.
7-month pregnant wife on her hands and knees getting beers out of a cooler to save the beers before her drunk husband pukes all over them. The beers that will then be thrown into the crowd in Boston. That is
Legendary.
that is awesome. Is this your first kid?
Yes, first one. First one. Yeah.
Nice. Congrats.
Yeah.
When's the due
Thank
date?
you. September 6th. So we're we're
Okay.
we're getting closer every day here.
Uh, Chris has 3 kids. I have 3 kids. The whole best day of your life thing is a misnomer. That's not true. The day the kid is born, it's weird and strange and shocking. The vibes are just off. When that baby starts to develop a personality, like 9 months or so, that's when you're in business. But
All
you
right.
know, don't. Is there a name picked out? Do we have a? Can we
Nothing
break
yet.
any news
Nothing
here?
yet. Nah, nothing yet. We got some feelers, but nothing quite yet.
Yeah, my wife said to come with a list. I came with 8. She came with 1, which I wouldn't really say is a list. She's more so telling me what the baby is going to be named. Um,
Right.
All right, so let's go through the playoffs. In the finals, you shoot 48% from three. You have a really big game three in a 7-point win in Dallas. But that's coming off two series against Cleveland and Indiana where you weren't at your best. How is it maintaining confidence, especially when your role is such that you don't know if you're playing 10 minutes in a game or 25?
Yeah, it's tough, but yeah, it's part of like being in the role that I am on such a good team, and so everybody's got to sacrifice, and that was part of me sacrificing, kind of just being ready whenever the number's called for however long it is, and sometimes it's tough to get a rhythm playing like that, and I think that probably showed a little bit in the Cleveland and Indiana series, but you just got to keep shooting. Shooters keep shooting. Got to stay confident. And, in the Dallas series, I played a little bit more, which I don't know if that helped my rhythm or not, but shots were going in. And, yeah, I was just glad I stuck with it. And water always finds its level. So, yeah.
Yeah, at some point during the series against Dallas, Doris and JJ, that's LA Lakers head coach JJ Redick, started to talk about Sam Hauser's defense. And it was, look, you can't pick on this guy. He's staying in front of everybody. And we at home are like, yeah, he went to Virginia. Like, he knows how to play on ball defense. But how much pride do you take in your defense and being able to play on both sides of the court against guys like Luka Doncic, maybe the best in the world?
Yeah, for sure. I just, like you said, you just got to take pride, and if they're going to continually call you up and do an ISO, you gotta try to hold your own. And my biggest thing was like I'm going to get scored on by these two. They're two of the best scorers in the world, but how can I make it difficult for them? Can I make them make multiple moves um, and not worry about the result and just worry about the process? And I think I did a good job of that, and just try to compete on the ball and do the best I can. And I think the results were pretty good.
Were you surprised that Kristaps played in Game 5? Was everybody?
um, so I had a feeling he would, try to gut it out, and but we weren't really sure because of what happened. Obviously, like kind of a weird injury, and but we were happy he was out there and able to be a part of it. And I know he really wanted to be a part of it. So, and when you can have a big 7'3" guy who can shoot threes out there, it's always helpful. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
no doubt. When you're on the dais after the game's over, you've won the title, and it's Adam Silver, I believe, saying the Bill Russell Finals MVP is. Whose name do you think is coming out of his mouth?
That was interesting. We really did not know. It could have gone either way between Jason or Jaylen. Even like Drew, I probably got some like.
Yeah,
I feel like after the first two or three games, he was definitely in contention for it too. So, but either Jason or Jaylen, they both deserved it. If they could share the award, I'm sure they would have done that. But Jaylen had a heck of a series, heck of a playoff run, and on both sides of the ball too. He's a freak, and just really gifted, and he's such a good player. Yeah.
why does it seem like people try to drive them apart? Is it because there's no animosity? Is it because there's no clear alpha? It's not a Jordan Pippen situation. It's not Shaq Kobe where they actually had their own issues personality wise. It's more so that they're just two really good players who get along. So we have to manufacture some sort of issue.
Yeah, I just feel like people just want a narrative and something to talk about, whether it's real or not. People are going to create one, and those guys have won a lot of games and a lot of playoff games in their careers, and everybody can. I don't know what they can say now that we got to the mountaintop and those guys played the way they did. So, you know, there's no animosity in the locker room at all or in the personal life. So, just two really stand-up guys who are selfless. And I think that kind of is viewed as passive, I guess, in a way, which is unfortunate.
Okay, you're on a deserted island, but weirdly, there are only 2-on-2 basketball tournaments being played on this deserted island. Are you bringing Jaylen or Jayson with you to the aforementioned island?
I'll bring both, and I'll sit out and watch.
Okay. All right. Very political answer. Well done. Joe Maz, what was the strangest tactic this year to get you guys going?
Ooh, strangest one. There's a lot of them. The one that I've told people about before is so his favorite animal is an orca whale or a killer whale,
Nice.
and so he pulled up this clip from National Geographic, and it's these three orca whales hunting this seal, and they kind of pop their head out of the water and check out where the seal is at, and it's on this isolated piece of ice in the middle of the ocean, and they're kind of scoping it out, and then they all, attack this seal and kill it. And his like message was, killer whales don't do it on their own. They wait for the others to attack their prey before they kill it. And that's what we got to do this year is do it together, and nobody can do it on their own. So interesting tactic, but the message is well received.
So he has a captive audience and he's just making you all watch seal murder.
Pretty
There's
much.
there's nothing there's nothing you can do about it. What's his hit rate on things like those? I mean, is he pretty good? Is it 50%? Are some guys rolling their eyes sometimes?
I would say it's upwards of 75%.
Okay.
A couple movie clips in there that maybe go. I don't think everybody knows the movie clips he shows sometimes. Like it's a lot of
The
the
town.
town, Whiplash. He does a lot of UFC fights. The orca whale thing. I think there was a lion one where they killed I don't know, a gazelle or something. So it's anything he can pull from somewhere else, he's going to try to incorporate it into basketball.
And now you're getting the band back together. I think it's the top 9 guys are all ready to come back. Jayson just signed the richest contract in history. Derek White's deal is huge. Picked up the Sam Hauser option. I mean, are we already talking repeat with this crew? It seems like you have really good vibes, and maybe starting with a guy like Drew. That's the way I'll ask the question. Who will be playing for Team USA this summer? What does a guy like that do for a locker room where there are bona fide stars and high expectations and a coach we don't quite know what we have after going 80-21 or whatever it is? I think we know what we have now, but uh, speak about Drew Holiday and what he means for a team that's looking to go back to back.
Yeah, I kind of view him as like the glue that kind of keeps everything together. Him and Al, I think, take that role. And, having a guy brought in who has won a championship can bring that DNA to us who, Celtics have been really close a lot in the last 7 or 8 years and just haven't been able to get there until now. No, it's pretty cool, a guy of that stature to not have an ego, to sacrifice, to maybe limit his role offensively a little bit, but still be an absolute alpha on the defensive end and kind of man us from that side of the ball. So bringing a guy like that in it couldn't have been more of a seamless fit.
And what about your career getting to this point? Stevens Point, Wisconsin guy, which means something to us here in Seaville with Coach Bennett's connections. You go to Marquette, you transfer to Virginia. How strange were those 2 last years in college? Because you're one of the last true transfers. You had to actually sit out for a year, and then COVID happens, and there's a 23 game or so regular season. You're playing an NCAA tournament in Bloomington, and I don't know how many people were in that arena. How wild was that to go to a new place and then be hit with a sit out year, which you knew was coming, and then a pandemic?
Yeah, it was crazy. I can't like my redshirt year was whatever. I knew what to expect. I just wanted to go in and get better. And honestly, it was probably the best thing for me just to work on my game, work on my body. And then COVID hits in February that year, and you don't really know what to make of it. And then we're going into next season where don't even know if we're going to have a season quite yet. And then all of a sudden we play games, but we're getting games canceled as well. And then going into the tournament that year, we got sent home early from the ACC tournament in the semis because one of our guys cracked positive, and we didn't know if the season was over, like if we were going to play in the tournament or not, and we ended up playing in the tournament on 0 practice days and for the 7 days leading up to it, and ended up losing in the first round, and career's over after that, and it was kind of wild, but I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason, and I feel like it was all part of this journey and a big part of why I'm here right now.
Were you and Joey ever going to be a package deal transferring? Did you
So
talk about that?
we initially went into the process saying like we're going to go together no matter what. I think that's what we both wanted, and then all of a sudden we just took a liking to different schools, honestly, and there was nothing more to it than that. Really, he was heavily recruited by Michigan State out of high school, and I honestly thought he was going to go there initially and not come to Marquette, but ended up coming to Marquette, and then I was recruited by Virginia out of high school as well, and took it official. I just wanted to stay close to the home at the time, but I feel like we both ended up at the schools maybe we should have started at. But like I said before, it all happens for a reason, and we both had great college careers and wouldn't change it for anything.
Do you remember off the top of your head Tony Bennett's 5 pillars?
Humility, passion, servanthood, thankfulness, and unity, I believe.
There we go. Yeah, you got it. 5 for 5. Coach, that team featured Trey Murphy too, and you had Jay Huff, Kihei, other guys. Coach has taken some heat for his offense. He also has a national title and more wins than any other school over the last 10 years, except for I think Gonzaga and Kansas. What would you say to his detractors? What did he do for you in your career getting you ready?
Yeah, I mean, the people who are bashing him they don't know like the ins and outs of basketball and how it works probably. He's like the most genuine person in college basketball. What he did for me was special. He took extra time my redshirt year to work me out after practice or before practice when head coaches probably usually don't do that for red shirts, but he knew where I could help the team, how I could get better, and help me expand my game in a lot of different ways than I was expecting, and especially on defense. And I can't thank him enough for those 2 years I was there, and to be able to play for him was special, even though it was weird circumstances. I loved playing for him, and he's one of my favorite coaches I've ever had.
You wore 10 at Marquette, 10 at Virginia, now 30 in Boston. I think it's JoJo White who has 10 retired.
Yeah.
It's too many retired numbers. I mean, there are like 25 retired numbers in Boston. You can hang them in the rafters, but you should be able to wear them, is my personal opinion. We have poor Xavier Tillman out there wearing 26. But how did you get to 30? And I guess part of the reason is you don't have very many options in Boston.
Yeah, I mean, I think my options were 27, 28, 29, 30, and then like 90 and above. So, so 30 just seemed the cleanest, and I think I wear it well. I don't think I would. I just didn't think 27 or 28 looked that great on me. So, I think I chose the right number. I'm just glad it was available.
I know. I don't think they look good on anybody. What's the off season look like for you? Are you the quintessential gym rat, or are you, we just played into late June, I need some time off?
Yeah, I am on that wave this right now. These
Good for
last
you.
2 weeks, have just been kind of enjoying the festivities and just resting, playing a lot of golf, just laying low, really, just anything to get away from basketball for a little bit. And, you play 9.5 months straight. It's good, a little reset right now and refresher. So I'll get back at it maybe a week or two, but yeah, I'm in no rush right now.
What's your swing thought when you're standing over the ball? What's the last thing you tell yourself?
Smooth and easy.
Yeah, Big Smooth.
Easy. Yeah, there you go.
You are Big Smooth, correct?
Yeah, that is a Twitter handle I had, yes.
Okay, I like that. This Baylor Shireman cat, all right, mid-20s, Midwestern white guy who shoots the ball. Are we going to be nice to this guy coming in, or are we going to be mean to him?
I mean, classic rookie, duties and all that. But other than that, I'm not very confrontational or anything like that. So I'll probably be a, a nice guy to him, as you could say. Yeah.
Are you when your role is fairly defined, you're a knockdown shooter, and you obviously can do everything at a high level because you're a rotation guy on the world champion Celtics. Are you looking to expand your game in ways at this stage in your career?
Yeah, I think there's always room for improvement in the things that you're not good at, but also the things that you're doing really well. I think you can always get better. And, with the roster we have, my role is still going to be probably similar to what it was, but how can I, do little things here and there to expand it a little bit? And I don't know what that looks like at the moment. We're going to have a similar roster, but, every year is different. You never know what can happen. So, I'm going to work hard this summer and do things to improve. But, in terms of my role, I think it might be pretty similar to what it was, which is fine. You're part of a good team, and I'm looking forward to the season and whatever I have to do to help this team win.
Yeah, you're 26. You're the type of guy who's also playing when he's 36, which is not a bad type of player to be. All right, we put you in a gym. How many uncontested threes are you making in an ideal setting?
How many am I shooting?
100 out of
100?
100.
I would say like 80 to 85, probably in that range.
Okay, that's ridiculous. And is that highest on the team?
It's probably up there. I mean, shooting with nobody in the gym standstill, I feel like a lot of guys are pretty good at that. I honestly might prefer just like a slight contest, like
Oh,
just a kind of keeps you in your rhythm. Some of those wide open shots sometimes are harder, honestly.
and I know you've been in low key mode. You just won the title, but are you paying attention to free agency now that it's begun? What the Knicks have done with that Bridges trade, Philly and Paul George is likely official by now. Milwaukee seems to be about health. Do you pay attention to the rest of the Eastern Conference here in early July, or you'll you'll show up when the schedule comes out?
No, I've been keeping tabs of what's happening, mainly with our team and who we just signed in the last couple of days. And obviously the Knicks, made a big trade and they're looking good for next year. But, I'm always pretty confident in what we have coming back in our top 8 guys in the rotation. So, yeah, so we'll see. We're going to have a target on our back going into next season for sure. But that's kind of what you want. That's what you strive towards.
This trend of wearing non-white jerseys at home is despicable. The black is awful, but I was even offended by the green you guys wore at home in the clincher. Didn't you grow up on white jerseys at home, dark jerseys on the road in the NBA?
Yeah, I did. But
Who
honestly, I don't think it's up to us. I think it's literally the NBA makes like the jersey schedule.
even in the playoffs they're making the calls. You guys aren't voting on
No,
it or anything?
no, no. We literally like I don't even know what color we're wearing until I get to the arena most times.
That is among the most disappointing things I've ever heard. I mean, we had tradition. This league used to be about tradition, and
Hey.
now they've gone and made a mockery of it. What is your favorite uni to wear of the ones that you've worn in Boston thus far?
Ooh. Um, it's hard to beat like the classic, you know, I do like the green jerseys a lot. They're just classic vintage. If I had to pick a second one, I do like the black ones. I do. I think they're sharp.
Okay, okay, Sam.
White, the all white just makes me look slow. So
Are you aware that the entire franchise is for sale? Well, we
I
could
am
probably
aware.
we could get you in trouble with a question like that. Do you think it's somewhat ridiculous that you guys go out and play 100 games and win a title, and then the first person they hand the trophy to is the owner, who, us casuals, we don't even know his name?
Uh, I'm gonna pass on that
He's
question.
selling, Sam. He's
Yeah,
selling. We can answer
I don't
truthfully
know.
now.
I guess we're at a pretty good selling point right now. I can't blame him for wanting to make some money.
Yeah. Jayson, here's 314 million. I'm going to slip out the side door before we have to pay Hauser and all those guys. Thanks, man. Before we get you out of here, this is more often than not a football pod. Being from where you are you a Packers guy?
I am a die-hard Packers fan.
Okay, let's talk about them. Jordan Love. I
Let's
mean,
do
is
it.
this just easy succession? Favre, Rodgers, Love. It's just going to keep rolling.
We'll see. See if he could put a full year together first. The first half of the year you could tell he was getting used to things. Second half of the year he played unbelievable, and I'm excited to see what this year brings. Youngest roster in the league again, and we are one game away from the Super Bowl. So we'll see here, see what happens. But we're excited. People are going to hate us for having another franchise quarterback, but we love that.
Presumably, you've been to Lambeau before, yeah?
Yeah, my grandparents have season tickets. So I think I've been to probably, we try to go once a year, so maybe like 8 games probably. We didn't go when we were real young, but when we got a little older, we try to go more.
If Green Bay is playing in New England, which is a rarity, I mean, are you going full cheesehead or what's the move?
Favre jersey's coming out, Cheesehead's coming
Okay.
out. Every Packers, everything of Packers I have is coming out. Maybe a chain, maybe a flag. I don't know. I got it all,
You got to be loyal. I respect it.
of course.
Um, and then you get to go and you get to go to work in the Garden, not technically the old Boston Garden, but there's still the Parquet. You can
Oh
call it the
yeah,
Garden. Not a bad couple of venues to grow up on and then spend your time at work at. Sam, thanks for your time. It was awesome watching you play throughout these playoffs. You only played in the orange and blue for a year, but we have great pride watching you. And they say you're from Virginia, and we hope that never changes. Don't give Marquette any credit. Just keep the UVA stuff rolling, and keep on winning, man.
for sure.
Be the first to win back to back here in a while. We'll be cheering for you.
That'd be awesome. Wahoo wah, as always. I didn't get a degree from Marquette, so I only got the degree from Virginia, so I don't think that's going to change.
There you go. Is it in a frame? Do you know
Uh,
where it is?
It's in my parents' house in a frame. So we're
Perfect.
good. We're good.
Love that. Awesome,
Wahoo
man.
wah.
Thank you. Wahoo wah. Take care. We'll see you soon.
Thank you. Appreciate you for having me.